The night was quiet at the Global Space Research Center. Only a few scientists worked late in the control room. Among them was Dr. Lena Ray, a brilliant astrophysicist who had spent her whole life looking for signs of life beyond Earth. She didn't expect anything tonight. The stars were calm. The satellites were running normally. Everything felt normal until the sound came. Beep, beep, dot. It was soft at first, like a small heartbeat. Lena turned to her screen. A strange signal had just arrived from deep space. It wasn't from any known satellite or space junk. It came from far beyond the solar system. She frowned and zoomed in. "Frank, are you seeing this?" She called out to her colleague. Frank wheeled his chair over. His eyes widened. "That's not random. Look at the pattern." Lena nodded. "It's repeating every 37 seconds. They both stared at the waveforms on the screen. The signal wasn't just noise, it was a message. Lena ran the code through their computer. Her heart skipped a beat when the result came back. Message received. 7 days. Prepare. Frank leaned back in his chair. "This has to be a prank." Lena shook her head. "This came from Sector VX99. That's beyond the Kuiper Belt. No human signal could travel that far and bounce back. But prepare for what?" "Frank," whispered. No one knew the answer. But the countdown had started. The next morning, the team held an emergency meeting. The director of the Space Center, a serious man named Colonel James Hawk, stood at the front of the room. "Keep this quiet," he ordered. "No media, no leaks, until we understand what we're dealing with. But people need to know." Someone started. "They'll panic," Hawk said sharply. "We need answers first." Lena showed the decoded message again. She explained how the signal kept repeating and how it was slowly getting stronger. "It's like whatever sent it is getting closer," she said. "Closer?" Someone asked nervously. "Yes, it's moving." "Could it be a ship?" Frank asked. Hawk nodded slowly. "That's our fear." On the third night, Lena sat alone in the lab. She couldn't sleep. She stared at the screen, watching the signal pulse again and again. Suddenly, her monitor flashed red. A satellite near Mars had just gone dark. No. She muttered, pulling up the satellite feed. The last image showed something strange, something massive moving behind the planet. She called Hawk at once. "We lost SOT 94. I think something destroyed it." Hawk was silent for a few seconds. Then he said, "We're launching Sentinel Protocol." Lena felt a chill. Sentinel was Earth's last resort defense project. It meant things were serious, deadly serious. That evening, something else happened. The moon camera, a powerful telescope used to scan space, picked up a strange object. It was large, dark, and hiding in Earth's shadow. The team watched the screen in horror. "It's not a meteor," Frank said. "It's too slow." "And it's holding position," Lena added. Colonel Hawk frowned. "Then it's watching us." The room went silent. The alien object didn't move. It didn't send any message. It just stayed there, silent, dark, and watching. Every 37 seconds. The signal still beeped. 5 days remaining. 2 more satellites went offline the next day. 1 exploded in orbit. This time, the news leaked. People started to panic. Videos appeared online. News channels went crazy with stories of alien invaders and end of the world. World leaders tried to calm everyone, but fear had already spread. Some people ran to bunkers. Others prayed. A few ignored it all, saying it was just another fake scare. But Lena and the scientists knew better. The signal was real. The threat was real. And time was running out. In a hidden room beneath the Space Center, a special team worked on something called Project Dawnfire. It was a secret weapon built not to attack, but to respond to alien communication. "We have to try to talk to them," Lena said. "Before we fire anything." Hawk disagreed. If they wanted peace, they would have contacted us clearly. But what if we misunderstood the signal? Lena asked. What if prayer doesn't mean war? Frank added, or what if it means they need help? Hawk looked at them both. We can't take that risk. On day 4, something terrifying happened. A strange sound echoed across Earth, heard only through radios and headphones. It was deep, cold, and not human. All over the world, people reported headaches, blackouts, and hearing voices in dreams. One boy in Tokyo spoke in a strange language during his sleep. His voice wasn't his own. He said one sentence: "This world will be taken. You have no right to it." Lena listened to the recording. They're not asking, she said. They're claiming. Hawk gave the order. Get Dawnfire ready. That night, Lena sat in the dark, staring at the stars. She whispered, "Why are you coming now? What do you want from us?" No answer came, only the signal, beeping like a slow heartbeat. Beep, beep. She opened her notebook and wrote down what she believed. Maybe we were never alone. Maybe they were always watching. And maybe now they think we're ready. On the morning of the 5th day, the object moved. It came out from behind the moon. It was massive, like a floating city made of black metal. It didn't glow. It didn't shine. It just hung in the sky, silent. The world stopped. No one could explain it. No one could deny it anymore. Earth had been noticed, and someone or something was coming. The alien object was now fully visible in space. It looked like a dark metal fortress floating near the moon. It didn't flash lights. It didn't make a sound. But it was there, and it was watching. At the Global Space Research Center, everyone stared at the live feed. No one said a word for a long time. Finally, Frank broke the silence. It's not moving, just sitting there. It's waiting, Colonel Hawk replied. For what? We don't know. Lena narrowed her eyes. What if it's not alone? Hawk turned to her. You think there are more? We've only seen this one. But space is big. Too big. What if others are hiding? Frank typed quickly and pulled up thermal scans. His face turned pale. Lena. You were right. On the screen, several heat signatures glowed faintly. They were small, far apart, and surrounding Earth like a net. There are at least 6. More objects, he said. They're in perfect orbit. Almost invisible. They're forming a cage, Lena whispered. Later that night, high above Earth, the International Space Station picked up strange shadows outside its windows. Astronaut Kira Nolan floated toward the glass. She rubbed her eyes. Mission Control. This is ISS. I'm seeing something, she said. What kind of something? The voice on the radio asked. Kira held her breath. Outside the station, a huge shape moved silently in the dark. It wasn't a ship. It looked like a creature, thin, long, and crawling across the void. It's alive, Kira whispered. Say again, ISS? I think it's alive, she repeated, voice shaking. But by the time she turned on the cameras, the shape was gone. On Earth, Hawk paced in the war room. If they're in orbit, they could attack any satellite, any system, at any time. And we still don't know their purpose, Lena said. They're scanning us, Frank added. Every second. Studying our technology, maybe even our people. Then we need to act before they do, Hawk said. But act how? Lena asked. We don't even know what they are. Hawk looked at her. That's your job to figure out, Doctor. The next morning, all communication satellites over Asia went dark. Airports closed. Banks stopped working. Planes were grounded. They're testing us, Hawk said, bit by bit. They're showing us what they can do. Lena stood over a giant screen, watching the data pour in. They haven't attacked humans yet, she said. Not physically, Hawk replied. But the mental pressure is building. People are scared. That's also a kind of war. That evening, Lena received a strange alert on her computer that one of the deep space drones had sent an image before it went offline. The picture was blurry, but terrifying. It showed a small pod near one of the hidden alien ships. Inside was a figure tall, thin, and not human. The being had no eyes. Its face was smooth like stone. Its body was wrapped in something that looked like armor but moved like skin. What? Is that? Frank asked, standing behind her. I don't know, Lena replied. But I don't think they came in peace. Suddenly, alarms blared in the space center. Object entering atmosphere. Someone shouted. It's falling over the Pacific Ocean. The team watched a fireball race across the sky. It hit the ocean with a huge splash, then disappeared. Hawk gave the command. Send in drones, full scan. I want eyes on that crash. Sight. Minutes later, a deep-sea drone sent back a video. At the bottom of the ocean was a black capsule, still glowing, still alive. And then it opened. Something came out of the pod. The camera feed went fuzzy. But before it cut out, the team saw it, a creature half machine, half flesh, swimming with powerful limbs and glowing blue eyes. Frank leaned forward. That's a scout. They're here, Lena said. They're not just watching. They're testing Earth up close. The world governments had no choice. They raised emergency alerts. Armies were put on standby. Satellites were moved to defensive positions, but none of it mattered. The enemy was already inside the system. A secret satellite near the dark side of the moon picked up a new signal. It was short. It was cold. And it said, test phase complete. Prepare for contact. In the dark sky above, the alien ships didn't move. But people everywhere could feel it. Something had changed. The silence before the storm was ending, and Earth had no idea what would come next. The world stood still. The alien ships in orbit had not moved for hours, but everyone could feel something was coming. Countries held their breath. Soldiers waited. Scientists stared at their screens. At the Global Space Research Center, Lena sat. At her desk, tired but focused. She hadn't slept in 2 days. Her eyes were glued to the monitors. Something was about to happen. She could feel it. Then, at exactly 2:13 a.m., it began. Every screen in the world turned black. Phones, TVs, tablets, everything went dark. A moment later, a voice came through. It was not loud. It was not angry. It was calm, cold, and without emotion. You have one chance to surrender. This world is no longer yours. Lena jumped to her feet. Did you hear that? Frank nodded, pale. It was everywhere. All channels, all languages. Colonel Hawk entered the room, his face tense. They've made contact. But it's not peace, Lena said. It's a threat. It's a warning, Frank added. They're telling us to give up. Hawk clenched his jaw. That's not going to happen. The next hour was chaos. Governments around the world held emergency meetings. Some leaders wanted to negotiate. Others wanted to strike back. In the war room, Hawk called a meeting with the top scientists and generals. This is no longer a mystery, he said. It's war, but we don't know their weapons. We don't know their weakness. We know they can destroy satellites, Lena said. We know they can block systems, and we know they're testing us. Frank raised a hand. What if they're testing something else like our minds? Hawk turned to him. Explain. Frank swallowed hard. The signal they sent. The strange dreams people are having. The voices in radios. What if they're not just threatening us? What if they're trying to get into our heads? Everyone in the room went silent. That night, strange things started happening around the world. In Brazil, a man walked into the ocean and disappeared. In Russia, a soldier began speaking in a strange voice, repeating the alien message. In Tokyo, the same child who spoke alien words before now stood up in front of his parents and said clearly, "They are already here." This is only the beginning. Doctors examined the boy. His brain was working at a speed far beyond normal. He answered questions before they were asked. He looked at the scientists and smiled. You are interesting, he said. You learn fast. The scientists were shocked. Who are you? One asked. I am MINI, the boy said. I am not the first. I will not be the last. Back at the Space Center, Lena studied the boy's brain scans. This is impossible, she whispered. It's like part of his brain has changed. It's evolving. Frank leaned closer. Do you think the aliens are using him to speak? Lena nodded. Yes, but not like a puppet. More like a mirror. They're seeing us through him. Testing how much we understand. Hawk entered. We don't have time for tests. Project Dawnfire is ready. Lena stood. You can't just fire a weapon. We need to understand what we're facing. They gave us a message, Hawk said. We're giving one back. The next morning, Earth responded. Project Dawnfire was launched, a signal beam fired directly at the alien mothership near the moon. It was not a weapon that destroyed. It was one that disrupted. It sent back the same message, but rewritten. This world is not yours. Leave now. The alien ship reacted. For the first time it moved. Cameras around the world captured the moment. The black fortress tilted slightly. Energy pulsed across its surface. Smaller ships detached and began circling Earth faster. Hawk stared at the feed. We hit a nerve. Or we woke them up, Lena said. Suddenly, something unexpected happened. Every person on Earth heard a sound, not in their ears, but in their minds. A deep hum. A low, endless tone that made people fall to their knees. Lena gripped the edge of her desk. Her head throbbed. She saw flashes in her mind, strange symbols, dark shapes, distant stars. Frank gasped. They're inside. They're trying to show us something. Or maybe trying to break us. Then the voice returned, colder than before. You resist. That is a mistake. All over the world, cities lost power. Skies turned red as the alien ships released clouds of unknown energy. But still, no bombs fell. No buildings were hit. No people were killed. It was all pressure, mental, emotional, strategic. They're trying to crush us without fighting, Lena said. To make us surrender. But humans don't break that easily, Frank replied. Hawk stood by the window. That's what they're about to learn. That night, something else happened. A man in a small village in Kenya began speaking in perfect alien language. He was a farmer, had never left his town, never used a computer. Yet he spoke like a machine. Lena flew there with a team. When she arrived, the man was waiting, sitting calmly. Why Earth? Lena asked. He looked at her and replied, because your minds are new. You adapt, you change. That makes you dangerous. Then why attack us? She asked. Because you grow too fast. You do not follow the rules of the galaxy. Frank stepped forward. What rules? The man's voice deepened. The strong rule, the silent obey. You refuse both. That is your sin. Back at the Space Center, another signal appeared, but this one was different. It was from another planet. A distant voice said, we tried to warn you. They are not the first. Others will come. But your answer today will decide your future. Lena looked at Hawk. We're not alone. There are others out there, watching. Then we better show them who we are, Hawk said, and Earth did. Not by surrendering, not by hiding, but by uniting. For the first time, all nations stood together. Not just with weapons, but with one voice. The message was sent into deep space. We are humans. This is our home. We will not bow. The alien ships paused. For hours they hovered silent again. Then without warning, they pulled back. Didn't speak. They didn't answer. They just retreated. The world sighed in relief. But the fear didn't leave. Lena stood under the stars that night, looking up. They came to test us, she said. Frank nodded. And we passed. Maybe. Lena whispered. Or maybe the real test is still coming. The alien ships had left. They didn't explain why. They didn't respond to Earth's message. They just pulled back into deep space and vanished from the sky. But Earth was not celebrating. Lena Ray sat alone in the lab, watching satellite data. Her fingers tapped the desk. Her eyes didn't blink. Something felt wrong. They left too easily, she whispered. Frank entered the room with 2 coffee cups. He handed her one. "You're still thinking about it?" She nodded. It wasn't a defeat. It was a pause. "I think they're studying us." Frank sat down. "What if we scared them?" Lena looked at the screen. Or what if we surprised them? Later that morning, Lena met with Colonel Hawk and the other scientists in the main lab. Youssef, a geneticist from Egypt, had joined them. He looked serious, even nervous. "I found something strange," he began. "I've been studying the brain scans from the Tokyo child, the man in Kenya, and others who heard the alien voice." "And?" Hawk asked. "There's a pattern. It's not alien. It's human. But it's old." Lena frowned. "How old?" "Thousands of years," Youssef said. "Hidden inside their DNA. It's like someone left a message inside us." Frank raised his eyebrows. "You mean the message wasn't just sent to us? It was already inside us?" "Yes," Youssef replied. "Whoever sent that signal, whoever those aliens were, they didn't just choose Earth by chance. They've been here before. They called it the seed code. It was a hidden genetic structure, buried deep in human DNA. Youssef said it had been dormant for centuries, like a locked box waiting to open. And now," he said, "it's waking up." Lena stared at the DNA sequence on the screen. "What does it do?" "We're not sure yet," Youssef replied. "But it changes the brain. Makes it faster, stronger, more aware. That's why some humans resisted the alien signals." "Some humans are evolving," Frank said quietly. Colonel Hawk folded his arms. "So let me get this straight. You're saying humans were engineered?" "Yes," Youssef answered. "But not fully, just ... had given a chance to become more." The room went silent. Lena whispered, "Who did this?" Youssef looked uneasy. "We don't know, but the pattern in the DNA. It's not just data, it's language. Ancient, yet readable." Frank leaned closer. "What does it say?" Youssef hesitated. Then he said, "You are the key, you are the danger, you are the answer." That night, Lena sat under the stars, deep in thought. What if humanity wasn't weak? What if humans were always meant to become something greater? She looked up at the sky and whispered, "Is that why they're afraid of us?" The next day, a new signal arrived. This one wasn't from the aliens. It came from deep space, a different part of the galaxy. The frequency was similar to the seed code. It matched the DNA pattern Youssef had found. Lena and Frank decoded it. The message was simple. They fear what you can become. Do not stop. Hawk looked at the translation. "Who sent this?" "No idea," Lena said. "But they know about us. And they want us to keep evolving." The more they studied the seed code, the more strange things they discovered. People with the activated code could understand alien signals. Some could sense energy patterns around them. One child in South Africa even began predicting events before they happened. Small things, like weather or phone calls. But it was growing. "This isn't magic," Lena said. "It's advanced biology. It's a new kind of human," Youssef said. "We call them echoes." Hawk narrowed his eyes. "Echoes? Of what?" "Echoes of what we were always meant to be," Lena replied. But the echoes weren't the only ones watching. Far away, near the edge of the solar system, a new object appeared. This one was bigger than the last. It was a different shape, round, like a giant eye. Satellites picked up strange energy waves coming from it. No communication, no movement. "Just watching. They're scanning Earth," Frank said. "Probably looking for echoes." "We need to hide them," Hawk said. "No," Lena interrupted. "We need to train them." Hawk raised an eyebrow. "Train them to do what?" to protect this planet," she said. "Because next time, the aliens won't just threaten us." That night, Lena met with one of the echoes, a 12-year-old girl named Amira. Amira sat calmly, watching the stars through the glass. "Do you hear them?" she asked. "Hear who?" Lena asked. "The ones who sent the seed," Amira said. "They're out there, but they can't help us now. They're too far. Why did they help us at all?" Lena asked. Amira looked at her with glowing eyes. "Because we were their last hope. They made a mistake long ago, and we were their second chance." In the war room, Hawk prepared a new plan. He called it the Human Defense Network. It would connect all countries, all people, scientists, soldiers, echoes. One united system, no more secrets, Hawk said. "If we are going to face the galaxy, we face it together." The final discovery came a few days later. Yusuf found a second layer of the PO2 seed code. This part wasn't about defense or knowledge. It was about choice. It asked a question. Will you become what you were made to be, or something new? Lena looked at the screen, stunned. "It's not just giving us power. It's asking us to decide who we are." Frank nodded. "The aliens wanted to control us. The seed wants us to grow." Hawk stared out the window. "Then we'd better grow fast." In space, the eye-shaped object blinked for the first time. And Earth blinked back. The game had changed. Now it was humanity's move. The sky was quiet, but Earth was not. After weeks of tension and fear, something had changed. People were no longer hiding. They were preparing. In every country, humans stood united, scientists, soldiers, and the echoes. The world had faced threats before, but never from the stars. Now they had no choice. It was time to fight back. Colonel Hawk stood in the command center, watching a live feed of the alien eye-shaped ship beyond the moon. It hadn't attacked. It hadn't moved. But it never looked away. "They're waiting," he said. "Waiting for what?" Lena asked. "For us to make a mistake," Hawk replied. Frank stood beside her, typing quickly. "The longer we wait, the more data they collect. They're learning everything about us." "And we're learning about them," Lena said, pointing to a screen. "Project Dawnfire is ready." Project Dawnfire was Earth's most advanced signal weapon. It wasn't designed to destroy. It was designed to confuse, to overload, to strike inside alien systems. A weapon of the mind. But there was one problem. "We've never tested it on a real alien ship," Lena said. "This could go wrong." Hawk nodded. "If we do nothing, they'll come again. And next time, they won't send warnings. They'll send weapons." Frank looked at them both. "Then let's make the first move." At 0400 hours, Project Dawnfire launched. A high-frequency pulse shot through space, aimed directly at the alien ship. There was no explosion. No bright flash. Something happened. The alien ship twitched, just for a moment. A faint ripple passed through its outer shell. Lights flickered. Inside the command room, Lena's screen lit up with strange symbols. "They're reacting," she said. "They didn't expect it." "Good," Hawk said. "Let them feel what surprise looks like." Then came the response. Not from the main ship, but from the hidden ones. 6 alien drones, previously cloaked, broke orbit and flew toward Earth satellites. Multiple bogies incoming. Someone shouted, "Activate orbital defense grid." Hawk ordered. Lasers from Earth's satellite network fired, striking 2 drones. They broke apart and fell like burning stars. But 4 made it through. 1 hit a weather satellite. Another crashed into the ocean. The last 2 vanished from radar. Lena stared at the data. "They're not just attacking tech. They're mapping our response time, studying our defense pattern." Frank added, "and trying to scare us." In Africa, an echo named Amira stood alone in a field, her eyes glowing faintly. She whispered, "They're listening." "Who?" asked the agent beside her. Amira didn't answer. She closed her eyes. Suddenly, she reached into her pocket and pulled out a small metal cube. device left behind by the first alien contact. No one had figured out how to activate it. Until now, Amira held it in her hand. Her voice changed, deeper and strange. Human response observed. Phase 2 initiated. Then her eyes returned to normal. The agent stared at her. Amira, are you okay? She nodded slowly. They're not machines. They're alive. And afraid. Back at the Space Center, Project Dawnfire received a signal not from the aliens but from the cube. Lena played the audio. It was a broken message, full of static. You strike first. That ... was unexpected. You will grow. We ... cannot allow it. Frank whispered. They didn't think we'd fight. They thought we'd surrender, Lena said. They were wrong. Hawk stepped forward. Let's show them how wrong. All over Earth, people watched the skies. For the first time, humans were not just reacting, they were planning. Working together. The Human Defense Network launched a second wave. New satellites with advanced jamming tech. High-speed drones sent beyond the moon. And, most important, echo teams trained to connect with alien frequencies. We're not just using machines now, Lena said. We're using our minds. One echo, a teenage boy named Zain in Pakistan, managed to connect with one of the alien drones before it self-destructed. Through him, they saw a brief vision in alien command room. Dark, cold, full of strange creatures with long limbs and emotionless faces. Their thoughts were like ice. They see us as a virus, Zain said. Something that spreads too fast. Something they can't control. But we're not a virus, Frank said. No, Lena replied. We're evolution. The final twist came 2 days later. An alien ship near Jupiter powered up. It was 10 times larger than the last. A true warship. Satellites caught its energy signature heading toward Earth. This was just the scout, Hawk said. Now the real battle begins. Lena looked at the data. But we're ready. We've adapted. We've changed. Frank added. And now we strike again. As the stars shifted and Earth prepared for war, one thing became clear. Humanity was no longer just defending itself. It was fighting for its place in the galaxy. And for the first time ever. Humanity struck first. Dark clouds rolled over the Earth, but the real storm was above. The alien warship near Jupiter was moving. It wasn't fast, but it was coming slow and steady, like something that couldn't be stopped. Inside the Global Space Research Center, tension filled the air. Everyone watched the giant screen showing the warship's path. It was the size of a city, covered in layers of metal and strange blue energy. It'll reach Earth's orbit in 6 days, Frank said quietly. Colonel Hawk stood at the center of the room. Then we have 6 days to find a miracle. Lena didn't answer. Her mind was somewhere else. She stared at the DNA data on her screen, something they had found in the echoes. Something ancient. Something powerful. Later that night, Lena sat alone in the lab, listening to an old recording from the boy named Zain. In the recording, his voice was calm, almost not human. They fear what grows, what learns, what changes too fast. They fear what cannot be controlled. She closed the file. Her hands were shaking. What if the gift is not in our machines? She whispered, what if the real weapon ... is inside us? The next morning, Lena gathered a team of echoes for testing. These were people, men, women, and children whose brains had changed since the alien contact. Some could read signals. Others could feel energy shifts. A few could even sense danger before it happened. One young woman, Aisha from Morocco, had started drawing symbols in her sleep, symbols that matched alien blueprints found on the destroyed drone. You've never seen these before? Lena asked. Aisha shook her head. No, they just appear in my mind, like memories that don't belong to me. It's the seed code, Frank said. It's waking up more than just abilities. It's unlocking knowledge. Knowledge we were never meant to have, Hawk added. Or maybe, Lena said, knowledge we were always meant to unlock. The team started running deeper scans on the echoes. That's when they found a strange pattern in the brain's activity. When exposed to certain frequencies from space, the echoes' minds lit up like stars. They're reacting to the alien ship, Frank said, even before it gets here. They can sense its presence, Lena added, like an early warning system. But that's not all, said Dr. Youssef, the geneticist. When one echo connects, the others feel it too. Hawk looked up. They're linked? Yes, Youssef replied. They're starting to form a network. A human network, not through machines, but through thought. Lena whispered, that's the gift. The aliens believed they had the advantage. They had ships, weapons, technology far beyond Earth's. But they had made one mistake. They underestimated the human mind, especially when it works together. Lena turned to Hawk. We need to train the echoes fast. Not just to connect, but to push back. To fight with thought? Hawk asked. Yes, she said. To defend Earth from the inside out. In the mountains of Chile, a secret base was open. It was called the Linka Place for the echoes. To gather, learn, and connect their minds safely, day by day. The echoes grew stronger. They could now hear parts of the alien language without translation. They could sense when drones were near. Some could even block alien signals for short moments. But there was a risk. During one training session, a young echo named Eli passed out while trying to connect too deeply. His heart stopped for 12 seconds. When he woke up, he said only one thing. They are coming through the cracks. What does that mean? Frank asked. Lena's face went pale. It means ... they found a way in. That night, Earth's sky changed. A strange light appeared over the North Pole like a curtain of blue fire. Satellites stopped working. Planes were grounded. The alien warship wasn't just traveling through space anymore. It was bending space around itself. They're creating a tier, Lena said. A path between their world and ours. If they open it fully, Hawk said, they won't just arrive. They'll invade. With time running out, the echoes were brought to the space center. They formed a circle. Hands joined, minds focused. Lena stood at the center with Amira and Zane. Don't fight with fear, she told them. Fight with purpose, with truth. Show them who we are. The echoes closed their eyes. Then something incredible happened. The lights flickered. Screens shut off. But Lena didn't panic. In the silence, she felt it. A soft voice inside her mind, not hers, not alien, something older, something kind. You were not made to kneel. You were made to rise. Suddenly, the alien tier above the Earth flickered. Echoes were pushing back. Not with weapons, with will. The warship paused. For the first time, the massive ship changed direction. It didn't leave, but it slowed. Hawk stared at the data. What just happened? They felt it, Lena said, almost in tears. They felt our minds touch theirs, and it scared them. Frank added, because for the first time we didn't feel small. The alien ship sent one final message. You are not what we expected. We see the error now. The seed was never broken, only delayed. And then silence. No attack. No invasion. The tier in the sky slowly closed. The ship stopped moving, and Earth stood still once again. Later, Lena sat with Amira on a hilltop. Do you think they'll come back? The girl asked. Yes, Lena said. But next time we'll be ready. Because of the gift? Amira asked. No, Lena said, smiling. Because we finally understand it. The real gift was never the powers. It was the courage to grow, the power to unite, and the strength to believe in something more. Not just to survive. To evolve. The night was quiet, but the battle had already begun, not with guns or rockets, but with minds. Deep inside the secret base known as the Link, Lena stood among the echoes, the humans who could connect their thoughts and feelings. The alien warship still hovered far away, but now the war was happening inside their heads. "Are you ready?" Lena asked quietly. Around her, the echoes nodded, their eyes closed, faces calm but tense. Amira, the girl with glowing eyes, whispered, "We have to be. They are trying to break through our defenses." Frank, standing nearby, watched the monitors. "The alien signals are getting stronger. They want control. They want our thoughts." Lena took a deep breath. "Then we fight back with our own." The connection began. Each echo felt the strange presence of the alien mind trying to probe, to find weaknesses. It was like a cold wind blowing inside their brains, searching for cracks. Zane, the teenage boy, gasped. "It's huge, like a shadow swallowing light." "Hold on," Lena said firmly. "Focus on your own mind. Remember who you are." Suddenly, the cold wind turned into a storm. The aliens tried to flood the echoes with images: fear, pain, confusion. Some echoes faltered, trembling or gasping for breath. "Don't give in," Lena shouted. "You are stronger than this." Amira opened her eyes, shining brighter. "We are connected. If one falls, the others feel it. Stay together." On the screens, the scientists watched patterns of energy shift wildly. It was a battle of wills, a war of thoughts unseen by normal eyes. Frank said, "This is unlike any war we've known. It's mental and emotional. If they break us here, the physical battle will be easy." Hawk paced nervously. "Then we must make sure that never happens." Inside the minds of the echoes, something surprising began. As the alien force pushed harder, the echoes found a new strength, one they didn't expect. Amira whispered, "It's not just defense. We can reach them back." Lena nodded, "Yes. Use your thoughts like light. Show them our hope." The echo's mind sent out bursts of warmth, memories of Earth, feelings of love and courage. It was a language no machine could understand, a pure, living force. The alien storm wavered. Suddenly, the connection broke. The echoes gasped and opened their eyes. Lena looked at the monitors. The alien ship's signals dropped sharply. For a moment, silence. Then the warship blinked, its massive eye pulsing with a strange light. Frank said, "They're stunned. They didn't expect this." Hawk nodded. "We surprised them again." But the aliens were not defeated. A deep voice echoed inside Lena's mind. "You fight well, humans. But you do not understand us. Who are you?" Lena thought back. "We are the keepers of order. The galaxy must remain balanced. Your rapid growth is chaos." "Maybe," Lena replied. "But change is life." The voice hesitated. "You risk destruction." "We risk hope," she said. The war continued. Mind against mind, spirit against spirit. The echo's connection grew stronger. They learned to shield each other, to share strength, to heal wounds in thought. Zane smiled for the first time. "We are not alone. We are many," Amira nodded. "Together we can hold the line." On Earth, the people watched the skies. The warship remained silent but close. Lena's voice came through the news channels for the first time in weeks. "We face a new kind of war inside our minds and hearts. But we have a gift, unity, and with it, we will not fall." Days passed. The mental battle reached its peak. The alien warship pulsed and flickered. Suddenly, the ship sent a new signal, a message: "We concede for now, but the war is not over. The galaxy watches." The ship turned away, disappearing into the dark space beyond Jupiter. The echoes collapsed, exhausted but victorious. Hawk smiled wearily. "We won the first battle." Lena looked at the tired faces around her. "But the war of minds will continue, and we must be ready." Amira whispered, "This is only the beginning." Above Earth, the stars shone brighter, because humanity had shown something the galaxy had never seen before: the power of a mind united in hope, courage, and love. The stars were quiet again, But Earth was different. The alien warship had disappeared, and the war of minds had ended for now. Yet, a new chapter was beginning. In the Global Space Research Center, Lena Ray stood with Colonel Hawk and Frank. The room was filled with hope, but also with questions. What now? Hawk asked, looking at the data streaming on the screens. Lena smiled softly. Now we learn what it means to be part of the galaxy. Frank nodded. We fought to survive, but maybe it's time to fight to belong. Suddenly, a new signal arrived. It wasn't a threat. It was a message, clear and strong from deep space. We watched your courage, your unity, your strength. Earth, you are no longer alone. Lena's voice trembled. They're inviting us. Hawk frowned. Inviting us where? To join the Galactic Council, Frank said, reading the translation. A group of worlds that keep peace and order in the galaxy. Lena's eyes widened. The keepers of order, the same aliens we fought, they want peace now. The world gathered in an emergency meeting. Leaders, scientists, and echoes from every continent came together. This is our chance, Lena said. To be part of something bigger. To protect Earth and learn from others. Amira, the young echo, stepped forward. We must decide carefully. Joining means following rules. But it also means safety. Hawk nodded. We earned this chance. We can't waste it. The Galactic Council sent a ship, a small shining craft that landed softly on Earth. From it came beings unlike any humans had seen. They were tall, with skin that shimmered like stars. Their eyes held wisdom and kindness. One stepped forward and spoke in perfect English. I am Elian, ambassador of the Galactic Council. We recognize your strength. We offer friendship and alliance. Lena shook his hand. We accept. But we will always protect our home. Elian smiled. And we will help you do that. But joining the council was not easy. Lena and the echoes underwent tests, learning ancient galactic languages, laws, and histories. Frank marveled. It's like becoming part of a giant family. Hawk was more cautious. Families can fight too. We must be careful. One night, Lena and Amira stood outside, looking at the stars. Do you think Earth is ready? Amira asked. Lena looked up. We have to be. The galaxy is vast and full of wonders, and dangers. Then came the surprise. The alien warship was not gone forever. It returned. But this time, as a guardian. It hovered above Earth's atmosphere. Its massive form now calm. Elian explained. The warship was a test. Now it will watch over your planet, protecting you from threats beyond. Hawk smiled. From enemy to protector. Strange times. The echoes found new roles as ambassadors between Earth and the galaxy. They traveled to distant worlds, sharing stories of Earth's struggle and courage. Zane laughed with aliens who had never seen humans before. Asha taught galactic scientists about Earth's unique life. And Lena? She led Earth's first mission beyond the solar system. One day, while exploring a distant star system, Lena received a message. It was from the Galactic Council. Earth has passed the first trial. Many more await, but you are no longer alone. She smiled and looked at her crew. We're ready, she said. We always were. Back on Earth, children looked up at the stars with new hope. They no longer saw darkness or fear. They saw a future full of light, connection, and endless possibility. Because Earth had changed. Because Earth had found its place, and the galaxy was waiting. The end.